on the Aggie Sports Network. From Learfield IMG College, this is Utah State women's basketball. Let's go to courtside.
Welcome into 7,220 feet above sea level. We're here at the University of Wyoming for Utah State Women's Hoops here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. I'm Jaden Johnson. Thanks for joining us this evening for Utah State Women's Hoops as the Aggies are back at it again against the University of Wyoming. These two teams met up a few weeks ago in Logan. Utah State coming out with a win in that game, and a big win it was for the Utah State women's basketball program. They won that game 50-42, and now round two of what was a really fun game the first time around for the Aggies. Now, Utah State and Wyoming have taken different paths since then. In fact, Utah State coming in on a 5-game losing streak. That game, the Utah State-Wyoming game earlier this season, came January 12th, so almost exactly a month ago to the day. Since that point, Utah State 1-5, while Wyoming is on a 5-game winning streak, and they've gone 5-2 since that, 5-1 since that point. So a little bit of a different story for these teams since that first meeting, and you better believe Wyoming's looking for a little bit of revenge, while Utah State would love to come out here, complete the sweep. The Arena-Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming is not an easy place to play, though, as any basketball player on the men's or the women's side will tell you. These Wyoming fans, they show up, they're loud, they make an impact in the game, and then, again, being at 7,220 feet above sea level is no small task. Now, you may be saying, oh, Logan, that's pretty high elevation, right? Well, Logan is about 4,500 feet above sea level, so you're going up almost 3,000 feet higher than that. This is the highest court in all the land, as they call it, and so you better believe elevation plays a factor, and then again, just a really good, strong Wyoming fan base, the only Division I program in the state, and they support it. So this is a tough place to play, as any girl who has played here before will tell you. The men's team just as tough to beat in this building. So looking forward to what should be a really good matchup. That matchup earlier this season between Utah State and Wyoming, again, so that was almost exactly a month ago. That was January 12th. Today is February 13th, so a month plus a day. And Utah State won that 50-42. It was a little bit of an uncharacteristic game, though, for Wyoming. If you're familiar with the Cowgirls, you know that they do a few things very, very well. One, they shoot the ball, especially from the three-point line, out of this world. In fact, coming into this game this evening, they're number 2 in the nation in three-point percentage. They entered that game a month ago, number 1 in the nation in three-point percentage. They shoot 41.9% from outside the arc. Well, in that game, the Cowgirls shot just 4 of 21 for a grand total of 19%. You know, part of that is certainly Utah State's defense. The Aggies have been a very good perimeter defensive team this season, and especially in that game, they showed up and played some rock-solid defense. However, you know, Wyoming was getting some open shots in that game, and they were missing them. Another thing Wyoming does very, very well is not turn the ball over. In fact, you look at where they rank nationally, they're number 9 in the nation in fewest turnovers, just 11.6 per game. Well, they turned the ball over 17 times in that game. So, again, credit to Utah State's defense. They were forcing a lot of turnovers, and they did a good job pestering this Wyoming offense, which isn't a high-scoring offense. It's not a fast-paced offense. In fact, it's quite a bit like Utah State's, where they'll use a lot of shot clock. They'll take their time before they get shots off. And the Aggies just matched up very, very well with it. So I'm going to be interested to see if that can carry over into this contest, if the Aggies have the same sort of defensive look against the Cowgirls. I know Coach Finkbeiner said that they're coming in with the same scouting report, as they should, after a game that was pretty much entirely in Utah State's favor a few weeks ago. in that game. Utah State really, I mean, they shot 41%, not particularly strong. You know, they didn't turn the ball over a whole ton, just 14 turnovers. And so it wasn't that Utah State played exceptional offensively. And again, they only scored 50 points. It's all about the Aggie defense. And so that's something to watch for in this one. The Cowgirls come into this game. I already read a few of these numbers, but number 1 in the nation in number 2 in the nation in three-point percentage, 41.9%. And that's also, they make 8.2 per game. And so they're taking a high quantity and making a very good percentage of those. And so it's they're just very good at moving the ball, getting open shots, and making the high quantity of shots into a good quality of shot as well. They're number 2 in the nation, fewest fouls. They only foul 14.3 times per game. That kind of signals towards defense, or towards discipline, just a very disciplined team. Number 7 in the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio, with a 1.42 assist-to-turnover ratio. In fact, they've also got the number 6 individual in assist-to-turnover ratio. That's Taylor Rusk with a 3.47. That's phenomenal. She's having a very good junior campaign for the Cowgirls. In field goal percentage, number 16 in the nation, 47.1% from the field. So those are some things Wyoming is very, very, very good at. Now, where they struggle a little bit and where you can beat them is if you come out and you out-rebound them. Not a particularly good rebounding team. Now, their rebounding numbers are skewed a little bit because they do play with a very slow pace of play, so there are just fewer rebounds to be had. But if you can out-rebound them, you're in pretty good shape. They are not particularly good at forcing turnovers, only 14.8 turnovers forced per game. And they're a pretty poor three-point defense, just 34% is what they allow their opponents to shoot. So if you can light them up from downtown, you're also going to be in pretty good shape. Now, I mentioned Wyoming is coming in on a 5-game winning streak. During that streak, they've come out with wins over San Jose State, over Boise State. What a win that was. That was right here in Laramie, a 64-52 win over the Mountain West number 1 team. And that's Boise State's lone loss of conference play. They defeated Fresno State in Fresno, another huge win there. Defeated Air Force, and just most recently on Saturday defeated Colorado State 60-49. So Wyoming really coming in on a hot streak, while Utah State on the flip side, 5 straight losses. They fell to New Mexico, fell to San Jose State, fell to UNLV, Fresno State, and most recently San Diego State. Now, a good chunk of those games were pretty close and were single-digit games. A couple of those were one possession games, such as the San Diego State game a few days ago, which came right down to the wire. But Utah State has not been able to finish, and it's just been a lack of offensive consistency from the Aggies, which has factored into that losing streak. So Utah State, especially shooting the ball, has struggled as of late, which Coach Finkbeiner will be the very first person to tell you. You know, in one sense, you look at it and their defensive numbers have been right up there with how they were at the beginning of the season and Utah State's successful games. So the defense hasn't really let up. Rebounding-wise, still been pretty good for the most part. Passing the ball hasn't been too much of an issue. They're getting a lot of good shots, just not making them. And when you look at their most recent performances, not many games where they've shot above 35% during this losing streak. And so that's going to be a huge key. Can they come out? If they shoot 40-45% in this game, you better believe they have a pretty good chance at it. Of course, that's easier said than done. And breaking out of a shooting streak like that can be tricky. The Aggies coming off of a 2-point win against San Diego State. 2-point loss, 56-54 in Logan just a few days ago on Saturday. That game came right down to the wire. Utah State actually started out ahead in that game, got off to a hot start in the first quarter. Things fell apart a little bit in the third quarter when when San Diego State got up by double digits, and then Utah State clawed their way back into it. By the end of the fourth quarter, they were within a possession and just couldn't finish. had the ball with an opportunity to tie it up, and the game clock expired before they were able to do so. Utah State only shot 30% in that game and 5 of 20 from the three-point line, while turning the ball over 13 times, being out-rebounded 38. I'm sorry, well, out-rebounding San Diego State 42 to 38. So, you know, kind of like I said, a lot of good numbers in there for Utah State outside with the shooting percentages. You're going to live with 13 turnovers. You're going to live with out-rebounding your opponent by 4. You're going to live with forcing your opponent into 18 turnovers, certainly. But it's just really tough to win a game where you shoot 30% from the field. All right, let's hear from Utah State head coach Jerry Finkbeiner. Was able to sit down with him back at the team hotel a couple hours ago before heading here to the arena. Hear some of his thoughts about his team's losing streak right now and what they need to do to correct things and get back on track, and about this Wyoming team and how they plan to come out and execute tonight. So here is Utah State head coach Jerry Finkbeiner.
Okay, Coach, we were able to talk a little bit after that game just a few days ago, and I got a few of your thoughts very briefly after that. Can you just talk a little bit more about that game and what have practice has been like since then?
Well, just every week we try to get better, and elements of the game we are, and just the great unknown is our offense and our percentages we shoot, and on any given night, you know, which kids are on and which kids are off. So I think we're making progress. We see progress in practice, and you know, we've only had one game really where we've really been out of it. That was at UNLV. So everything's close. There's no reason to get anxious and frustrated beyond reason. So I think it's as we plow forward through the rest of the season, get ready for the conference tournament, our heads are still up and we're still really going the right direction. We made some adjustments in our offense for tonight, just in the X's and O's world. Nothing with subbing or rotation or starting five, but you know, I think we're seeing progress. I look forward to the moment when we can start seeing this progress maybe in the last half of our schedule.
Sure, and I know that we've talked a bit about offense and finding that consistency. Do you feel like during this last stretch of games that your defense has been playing up to the performance that you expect and how it was playing earlier?
Yeah, our defense is doing really well. In fact, I evaluated really closely our last game and just both sides of the ball, and we got good shots. We missed them. We played good defense and good enough defense to win the game. So, you know, I think you know, we're positive we're really close. And tonight's game at Wyoming here in Laramie, this is probably the toughest place to play on the women's side in the Mountain West, and they're probably over 90% wins probably here. So we got a challenge tonight, but we probably played our best defensive game at Utah State about 3 weeks ago against this team. Held them 42 points, by far their lowest scoring outage of the year. Two best players, we had them to 6 and 5. So if we can, have that same defensive success, then we're going to have a chance today here at Laramie.
So when a team gets in a little bit of a shooting slump like you guys have the last few weeks, do you feel like that can hurt the confidence of a team? And is that a big part of the shooting slump? Is it confidence related, or what do you attribute it to, I guess?
That's $1 million question. It's hard to say. It's kind of like a player that's having a hard time free throws. What do? Do you just forget about it and just let it kind of work its way back in? Do you count on percentages? Do you look at technique? Do you look at repetitions? You know, shooting the ball after hours, before practice, after practice. So there's a myriad of way of doing it. But we're trying to let the girls know in practice that we're trying to just maintain some good verbal reinforcement of good shots and made shots, and if they're missed, still be positive. So I think we're a lot better shooters than our percentages show. We're just run out of games now. You know, we just got to start one of these days start hitting these shots, and so there's really no real good answer for that question other than just another day out. You know, and what I like about our team, I wouldn't use the word necessarily resilient, but it's a team that I think can forget fairly easily and move beyond it and get to practice the next day and get to the game 2 days later and give it our best shot. And so I think that's where we're at tonight.
You referenced that game a few weeks ago in Logan against Wyoming, and obviously big win for you guys in that one. It seems like you really held Wyoming well below their 3-point percentage. You forced a lot of turnovers. What went so well in that game for you guys?
It was just solid defensive effort. We had a good scouting report. We're going to keep the same scouting report for tonight. It just, defense wins game, defense wins championships. But in our case, the last 5 or 6 games, you have to have offensive help. But we've been a good defense team all year. We're in the top in the Mountain West in a lot of different categories, the top 2 or 3 on the defense side of the ball. So, that's been our mainstay, and we're just kind of keeping our fingers crossed. Like I say, just working on it and reinforcing positives of, when the shot's going to go in better and when our percentage of our shooting goes up.
Well, and I have to imagine that having a win over them, a recent win over them, has to do a lot for the confidence of the team going into this game.
Yeah, it does. And it also has a lot of confidence for the home team here in Laramie. Sure. They want that revenge factor because I'm sure they think that they should have won that game. But we had that game well in check most of the game. It was not a blowout. We won by 8, but it was close the whole game.
Sure.
But we had a good, solid game. And, I consider Wyoming, I did 3 weeks ago, I do now, one of the top 3 teams in the conference. So this would be an incredible win if we can get it. But most importantly, effort, execution. We just keep moving forward in practice and you really gear up and get ready for 3 weeks from now.
Okay, Coach, I appreciate your time. Good luck this evening.
All right, thanks, Jaden.
That's Utah State head coach Jerry Finkbeiner. I think the line of that interview was defense wins championships, but you got to have a little bit of offense to help out. And that's kind of been the story of Utah State the last few games as they come in on a 5-game losing streak. Each of those 5 games, you heard him say it, that he feels like the defense has been pretty consistent and pretty solid. And they really have been throughout the entire season a pretty consistently good defensive team. And the numbers will show that. Now, sure, there were a few hiccups in games where the defense didn't play quite up to par. At UNLV giving up 77 points. And maybe you'd say against New Mexico, 68 points, even though that's a very high-scoring team and a tough team to keep down. But, at the same time, got to have a little bit of offense to supplement that. Got to have some offense to help you out. And against San Diego State, you hold them to 56 points. That's great. That's fantastic. You hold the team to 56 points, but then they only score 54. And so offensively, they got to find some answers. And, is that going to be getting a little more help from the guard spots? I don't know. Is that going to be having Shannon Duffy and Haley Bassett both have big scoring games at the same time? I don't know. Shannon Duffy has been a little bit below her season scoring average the last couple of games and really hasn't been herself on offense. Now, I should note she's still dominating the rebounds, had 14 rebounds just a few days ago against San Diego State. So she's still having a huge impact on the game, but just not having the same offensive production as the Aggies got accustomed to having. And it's, it's certainly not on her that the team has gone on this streak. But she's going to need a little bit of help. And players are going to have off nights. And who could step up to help out in those kind of situations? So, again, the Cowgirls, when you look at them on paper, just a very, very, very impressive team. So many things they do well, so many things where they rank towards the top of the nation. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and get you starting lineups and have tip-off for you here in a moment. First, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll come back here on Aggie Radio.
This is Poppy, and you're listening to KBLU 92.3 in Logan, Utah.
Aggie Basketball is brought to you by 92.3 KBLU in Macy's, located at 49 East 400 North in Logan and 50 Utah 165 in Providence. Macy's offers a variety of food and drinks for game days, as well as watch parties. Macy's. Happy shopping.
What's up, everybody? This is Jonesy Boy. I have a brand new show here in Logan called The Jones Zone. I will be bringing you the latest and the greatest in EDM and dance music. It will be every single Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, so be sure to listen in.
Aggie Basketball on KBLU is supported by Ford. Ford dealerships are located throughout the state of Utah, from Logan to St. George, and a full section of vehicles is available on Ford.com.
You're listening into
92.3 KBLU LP Logan.
Welcome back. Moments away from tip-off between Utah State and Wyoming. Hope you're having a great evening. Thanks for joining us here on Aggie Radio for Utah State Women's Hoops. The Cowgirls come in 14-5 on the season, 7-3 in Mountain West Conference play. And so they've certainly got it on their minds that they're still fighting for the regular season title, fighting for that #1 seed, and really they still have a pretty reasonable shot to do so. Now, they're going to need some other teams to trip up along the way, but I mean, you take a look at the Mountain West Conference standings, and you've got Wyoming sitting currently in 4th at 7-3 in conference. Fresno State is in 3rd at 8-3, so if Wyoming can win this, then they're tied up right there. New Mexico, half a game ahead of that at 9-2. I guess that's a full game ahead at 9-2, and then Boise State at 10-1. But Wyoming, really, with their schedule lightens up here at the later part of the season, and so they've got that on their minds. While Utah State, sitting at the 5th seed right now, tied with UNLV at 5-6 in conference play. Starting lineups being announced right now, so we'll go ahead and take a look over those. For Utah State, they're going to go with the same starting lineup they used in the most recent game against San Diego State. That's number 1, Eliza West, the junior guard from Mount Martha, Australia. Number 4, Steph Gorman, the freshman guard from Wodonga, Australia. Number 5, Shannon Duffesey, the junior forward from Preston, Australia. Number 12, Haley Bassett, the junior forward from Layton, Utah. And number 22, Rachel Brewster, the senior guard from Melbourne, Australia. So a lot of players that are very comfortable being in the starting lineup. And again, the second consecutive game in which they've used that as their starters. Wyoming, now this is just a well-oiled machine here in Laramie, and they go with what works, and they don't change it up from that. They're going to use the same starting lineup they've used for all 19 games so far this season. No changing up for them. That's number 1, Carla Ariavets, the freshman guard from Zagreb, Croatia. Number 4, Taylor Rusk, the junior forward from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Number 12, Marta Gomez, the senior forward from Valles, Spain. Number 22, Clara Tapia, the junior guard from Barcelona, Spain. And number 23, Bailey Cotton, the senior forward from Denver, Colorado. A very experienced starting lineup. As you heard there, that's 3 seniors and a junior as starters for this team. And the 20th straight time they've used that. Coach Joe Legursky, the 2-time reigning Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year, 2 years in a row, looking for his 3rd straight. And I'd say he's got a pretty good shot to get there. And so he's a experienced head coach, knows what he's doing, and picks a lineup and sticks with it. Going back to the Mountain West Conference standings, there are some pretty big games going on around the conference today. We'll keep you updated on them. Most of them, Utah State, this Utah State game is starting before all of the rest. At 7 o'clock p.m., Air Force will host UNLV, as well as Boise State hosting Fresno State. That's a huge game for both of those teams. At 7:30, so an hour from now, San Diego State is hosting Colorado State. And at 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, San Jose State hosting New Mexico. So we are ahead of all of those games. We'll keep an eye on them throughout the evening. But Utah State is fighting for that first day bye in the Mountain West Conference tournament. If you're a top 5 seed, you don't have to play on that first day, the Sunday that the tournament starts. You get an automatic shoe into the second round. So that'd be really huge for this Utah State team if they can get there. And that's what they're fighting for most immediately. Right now they're tied with UNLV at 5-6 for that fifth round bye. However, or for that first round bye. However, UNLV winning the one game that these two teams will play against each other this season has the advantage. They have the tiebreaker in that scenario. And so Utah State technically probably more accurately sitting at 6th in the conference. So this is a big game for them as well. All right, we have tip-off. Utah State wins it. Haley Bassett against Bailey Cotton gives Utah State the first possession of the game, and we are underway. So again, the Utah State starting lineup of Eliza West, Steph Gorman, Shannon Duffy, Haley Bassett, Rachel Brewster on the court. 15 on the shot clock for Eliza West as she'll pass it over to Bassett. Now over to left wing for Rachel Brewster. Up to Duffy. She's got 8 on the shot clock. She'll pass it out to Gorman on the right corner. Outside the arc. 4 on the shot clock. She tries to dish it down, and there's a turnover for Gorman. She's had a whole lot of those the last few weeks, and that's not how Utah State wanted to start this game as Wyoming comes up with the steal on the first Aggie possession. So the Cowgirls looking to strike first. Can they do so on this trip down the court? It's Taylor Rusk giving it to Carla Ariavets. Ariavets had a big 14-point game against Utah State in the first meeting. Here's a jumper from just inside the free throw line. Clara Tapia hits, telling the official there was a little contact as well. The official lets it go, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Cowgirls. So Utah State looking for points now on their second trip down the court, but that's not going to happen as another Utah State turnover. Shannon Duffy throws it right to Taylor Rusk, and the Aggies go 2 possessions, 2 turnovers to start this game out. Cotton finds a cutting Ariavets for the lay-in. Cowgirls up 4-0. Both of these Utah State turnovers early on, pretty, not entirely forced. The Aggies just have made a few bad mistakes, and here's another one. So Haley Bassett gets to the free throw line, knocks over a Cowgirl, and Utah State will give it right back to the Cowgirls yet again. So while Utah State has gone 3 straight turnovers, the Cowgirls have started 2 of 2 from the field and lead 4-0. Gomez, the 2-time reigning Mountain West 6th Player of the Year for Wyoming, passing it over to the right wing, finding Rusk. Ariavets again outside the arc. She's guarded by Gorman. She'll get a screen, frees her up as she drives the baseline, lays it up, misses though long, and the rebound to Shannon Duffy. So the Aggies find their first stop of the game. Still looking for their first points, however. It's Brewster on the right wing. She'll give it back out to Duffy on the right wing after getting a screen. Pass down to Brewster. Great pass and a great lay-in. Utah State on the board. Trailing 4-2 on the lay-in from Brewster. So Utah State trailing by a couple. They give a little bit of a full court press. 2 players go into the back court to put a little pressure on Wyoming. They break it though, as Ariavets now has it on the right wing. She'll pass it to a cutting Cotton. Cotton goes up, tough lay-in, but gets it to fall, and it's 6-2 in favor of the Cowgirls. Utah State wearing their road blues, Wyoming in their home whites. Here's a left elbow jumper. Haley Bassett hits from 15. 6-4 Utah State trailing. So that was Haley Bassett's first shot of the game, first make. Utah State is 2 of 2 from the field. So they've made both the shots they've taken, but they've turned it over 3 times. However, scoring on their last 2 possessions down the court. Now got a whistle. It's going to be Steph Gorman picking up a foul. Aggies have found themselves in a little bit of foul trouble the last few games. In that game against San Diego State, it was Eliza West, Haley Bassett, and Shannon Duffy all getting into foul trouble. And they gave up a lot of free throws because of it, because they would get into the bonus. So that's something to watch for in this one. Here's a long jumper, missed by Tapia. She was just inside the 3-point line, misses. And we've now got a foul on the rebound. Did they get Eliza West or Olivia West? They were both out there. Regardless, it's going to keep it Wyoming ball with now a fresh shot clock. It's Olivia West picking up the foul. So just as I was talking about foul trouble, Utah State picks up another, their third of the game. Still 6:17 to go here in the first quarter. Here's a wide open lay-in on a pass down to Bailey Cotton to put the Cowgirls up 8-4. So Wyoming with a 4 of 6 start from the field. Got a whistle. It's going to be a foul on the Cowgirls. Their first. Carla Arievets got a piece of the arm of Rachel Brewster as she started her drive. So it's on the floor. Utah State will inbound from the baseline. 6 minutes exactly on the clock. The inbound goes into Duffy near the corner. She'll bring it up, give it to Eliza. So Utah State with plenty of time. Eliza's going to try and drive, lays it up and under, gets it to fall, and brings Utah State back within a couple. So despite 3 turnovers and 3 fouls early on, Utah State trails by just a couple, and they're staying right there with Wyoming step for step. Rusk gives up to Arievets. Arievets, the Croatian native. Wyoming with 10 international players on their team. Utah State with 7. So 17 international players in this game. Pretty remarkable. Here's Tapia. Tapia stops, hesitates at the free throw line, drives, and lays it up just as the shot clock expires. Misses, though, long. Utah State with the rebound. They can tie it up or take the lead on this possession. Duffy outside the arc, gives over. Eliza West tries a 3. No good. And the rebound to Arievets. So Eliza made a lay-in on the last trip down the court, had a little bit of confidence, tries a 3, misses, but a good defensive stop to slow down Cotton, missing the lay-in. Aggies with the rebound. But a turnover yet again as Shannon Duffy tries to pass it into the post for Brewster, and instead gives it right to Arievets. Utah State's 5th turnover already. Here's Tapia. Over to left wing to Arievets. Back to Gomez. Liza West swoops in, gets the steal. She's got a one-on-one. Goes at the basket, misses on the lay-in. Rolled around for just a moment, then fell off the front of the rim. And the rebound to Arievets. Utah State averaging 63.2 points per game. Here's a baseline jumper missed by Arievets. I'm sorry, a free throw line jumper missed by Arievets. Aggies with the board. But again, Utah State averaging 63.2 points per game. Wyoming 71.5, while holding opponents to 59.1. Long jumper missed by Brewster just inside the 3-point line. Cowgirls with the rebound. They're going to push it quickly in transition and then slow it down. Rusk got up to the left block, elected to take it back out. Rachel Brewster comes in. Here's a steal. She's going to take it at the basket, lays it up and in. She swooped in, takes it right away from Taylor Rusk. And that's Wyoming's 3rd turnover now of the game. Utah State with a couple of steals, and we're tied up at 8 apiece. So despite some early mistakes, Utah State hanging right there, and the Aggies actually 4 of 7 from the field now. Cowgirls 4 of 9. Wyoming does not turn the ball over much. 9th fewest turnovers in the nation. Driving is Cotton. There's a whistle, and that's an offensive foul on Bailey Cotton. Charges her way into the post and gives it back to Utah State. And we're at the media timeout. 2:55 to go. We've got a low-scoring affair here in Laramie, 8-8. We'll take a timeout and come back in just a moment with more Utah State women's hoops here on Aggie Radio.
What's up, Aggies? Tune in to All Killer, No Filler right here on Aggie Radio from Thursdays 3 to 4, and I'll be your host, Jared Worth.
Hey, this is Jerry Joseph. You're listening to 92.3 FM, KBLU LP, Logan, Utah. Alternative radio for an alternative audience. Love you, Logan.
Aggie basketball is brought to you by 92.3 KBLU and the Utah Toyota dealers. The new line of Toyota Corollas, Camrys, and Tacomas are available at Toyota dealership locations throughout the state of Utah or at toyota.com.
And welcome back to the Arena-Auditorium here in Laramie, Wyoming. Utah State got off to a slow start. However, the defense has kept them right in it. It's 8-8 with just under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Much like the first game, a defensive battle. I should say the first game between these two teams. They played about a month ago. A defensive battle. That was a low-scoring 50-52 Utah State victory. Aggies would love to repeat that result. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. As we come out of the timeout, it's Utah State ball. Gorman passes up top to Deja Mason, who's checked in for the first time, as has Utah State's Emmy Harris. Here's Olivia West. She'll give it off. Turnaround jumper, Haley Bassett. That's her signature move. Misses, but grabs her own board. That's a hustle player. She lays it up and in. That is all about Haley Bassett just not giving up on a missed shot, chasing her own board and getting a bucket out of it anyway. Utah State now with their first lead of the game at 10-8. Here on the left block, it's Vita Lova making her first appearance of this game. She'll try a hook shot over Deja Mason, but that's a tough shot to make over Utah State's all-time blocks leader. She misses. Utah State can extend their first lead of the game. 2 minutes to go here in the first. In the right corner, Steph Gorman tries a three, missing. Rebound long, goes to Wyoming. They're going to call a foul on Utah State. That is Haley Bassett fighting a little too hard for the board and reaching in to a Wyoming player, so Utah State will give it back to Wyoming after a missed shot. Aggies still leading 10-8. That's Haley Bassett's second foul. Remember, she did get in some foul trouble against San Diego State, limited her significantly. Here's another Wyoming turnover. A pass from Weideman into the post is intercepted by Deja Mason, so Utah State has now forced 4 Wyoming turnovers against a team that only averages 11.6 per game. Good defensive start for the Aggies. Here's just a bad pass from Haley Bassett down into the post. Aggies luck out, and they're going to be able to maintain possession as it was tipped out by Vita Lova. She was looking down low for Mason, threw it well behind her. However, it's tipped out by the Cowgirls. So Utah State will keep it with 13 on the shot clock. Inbound from Mason from the baseline. Utah State now at 10 on the shot clock. Here's Gorman. Hands it off to Harris. Harris with 5. 4. She's going to get a screen, try to pass it off to Duffy off the screen, but another Utah State turnover, this time a pass to Weideman. Cowgirls pushing it quickly the other way. Open 3 up top, knocked down by Quinn Weideman. And the Cowgirls back out front, 11-10. Utah State really shooting themselves with 5 turnovers here in the first half. In the first quarter, I should say. Most of them pretty much unforced. Just some bad passes for Utah State. So Aggies trail by 1. We've got 40 seconds to go in the first. Duffy has it up top. 8 on the shot clock, 7 on the shot clock. Gorman going to try a tough shot, has it blocked from the top of the arc, and that will soar out of bounds. They say it was not blocked, just entirely missed the net, and so goes to Wyoming. Not a great play for Utah State there. They could have gone 2 for 1. Instead, they forfeit that opportunity, don't get a good look. However, Wyoming goes quickly at the basket. Ariavets misses the lay-in, so Utah State can finish the quarter with a bucket if they hold on to it here. 10 on the game clock. Shot clock has turned off. Olivia West handling it. She'll get a screen from Mason up top. Pass over to left wing. Gorman tries to get it down to Mason, and another Utah State turnover on another very poor pass into the post. We'll give it back to the Cowgirls. 2.6 seconds on the clock. Aggies put 4 players in the back court to try and make a tough shot if they can get a shot off, and they will not. The shot was fired away near the buzzer, nearly went in. I don't think it would have counted regardless. Utah State with 6 first quarter turnovers, yet still only trails by 1. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. We're going to take a timeout, come back with more here in just a moment on Aggie Radio.
All right, Sundays at 11 p.m., we've got On the Quad. It is a comedy show from Aggie Radio Theater. That's every Sunday at 11 p.m. If you're looking to make your intestines hurt from so much laughter, tune in. 92.3 FM, KBLULP, Logan, Utah.
This program is brought to you in part by Intermountain Logan Regional Hospital Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, featuring individually focused rehabilitation programs, sports performance training for all ages, and orthopedic surgery options. Logan Regional's orthopedic and sports medicine specialists are the official medical providers for Utah State University Athletics, featuring team physicians, team orthopedists, and physical therapists. Learn more at loganregional.org.
What's up, Aggies? Tune in to All Killer, No Filler, right here on Aggie Radio from Thursdays, 3 to 4, and I'll be your host, Jared Worth.
All right, 1 quarter down here in Laramie, Utah State trailing 11-10. Expected a low-scoring game coming into this, and that's what we've got in 10 minutes of play. And Utah State trails by 1. Interestingly enough, both these teams actually not shooting poorly. Utah State 45%, Wyoming 42%, but it's been 6 Utah State turnovers and 4 Wyoming turnovers. That combined with a very slow pace of play is not a recipe for many points. Utah State, just 8 seconds into the second quarter, picks up a foul. Shannon Duffesey with her second. Apologies, that is Shannon Duffesey's first foul. And Utah State will give it to Wyoming to inbound. So the Cowgirls now 20 on the shot clock. On the left wing, it's Gomez. Gomez passes up top to Weidman. Now over to right wing, Ariavets. She's guarded by Mason. Passes over to left corner. A long shot taken, missed by Rakovic. And the rebound by Duffesey. Duffesey's third rebound of the game. Still hasn't taken a shot. A full quarter without taking a shot. That's Utah State's leading scorer and the second leading scorer in the Mountain West Conference. She's now got it. Backing into the post. Gets the double team. Passes out to Mason at the free throw line. Now Olivia West outside the arc. She'll start to drive. Pass it out. Finding Harris. 7 on the shot clock for Utah State. Olivia West gets a screen. She's going to be forced into a tough shot. Takes it. Gets it to fall somehow. Falling towards the basket as the shot clock expires. Banks one off the backboard and puts Utah State back out front, 12-11. So Wyoming, 4 first quarter turnovers, very uncharacteristic of the Cowgirls. Only took 1 3-point shot, also pretty uncharacteristic. They're going to try another one here. Missed from the right wing by Gomez, but the offensive board is grabbed by Rakovic, but then Gorman comes in, taps it off of Rakovic and out of bounds. So that's a good hustle play by the Utah State freshman Gorman to get Utah State the ball back after giving up an offensive board. They're going to get it right back. 8:30 to go here in the second. 12-11, Utah State out front. Substitution coming for the Cowgirls. It's Bailey Cotton's going to come in for Marta Gomez. Again, Wyoming has used the same starting lineup all 20 games of the season. They really only play 8 deep. So starters get a lot of minutes for the Cowgirls. Here's Duffesey. Top of the arc. Still hasn't taken a shot. She's going to start to drive. Put up a tough one. Missed. The rebound by Rakovic. And so Shannon Duffesey finally takes her first shot of the game. She's averaging this season 16.3 points per game to lead the team, but can't get her first shot of this game to fall. Cotton takes a step up just outside the free throw line, takes a tough shot, rebound by Brewster. Nearing the 7.5-minute mark here in the second. It's Olivia West on the right wing, giving it down. Finding Mason. Whistle blows. Foul off the ball. Goes against Slajana Rakovic of Wyoming. Got a little bit of contact down in the post, so it'll give Utah State a baseline inbound. Brewster goes in with it to Olivia West. She'll get a screen. Olivia West just hit a tough shot on her last couple possessions ago down the court. Now draws a foul. It's Bailey Cotton fouling her. Wyoming does not foul much. In fact, number 2 in the nation in fewest fouls, only 14.3 fouls per game. That's their second of this quarter, however, 7:27 to go. So another baseline inbound for the Aggies, this time into Eliza West. Utah State with the 1-point lead. Olivia West over to the right wing for Eliza. She'll give it down to Shannon Duffy. Free throw line, she'll drive, put it up on the left side, a little too much on the lay-in. And Duffy still not on the board for Utah State. Notice both these teams taking a lot of time on each possession. They love to distribute the ball, get the best shot possible, often using a lot of shot clock. On the left wing, it's Weidman. Weidman, the Nebraska native, catches a cutting Ariavets who goes up, gets fouled by Olivia West. It's going to be 2 fouls coming for Carla Ariavets. These are the first free throws of this game, nearly midway through the second quarter. Ariavets a 68% free throw shooter. First one is good. So Ariavets, Croatia native, played on the U18, U20 national teams in Croatia. She'll go 2 for 2 on that trip. Ariavets now a 4. Also has a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. She's kind of a do-it-all player for the Cowgirls. Wyoming now back out in front, 13-12. So back and forth we go. Just a lot of time in between points for both of these teams. Aggies haven't scored in about 2.5 minutes now. 6.5 minutes to go here in the second. It's Brewster on the left wing, handing it off to Olivia West. She put up top to Shannon Duffy. Hand off to Eliza West, back to Duffy. Duffy pump fakes and starts to drive, passes back out. Eliza, right wing, pump fakes, travels, and that's Utah State's 7th turnover of the game. So now a substitution coming for Utah State. Shannon Duffy will check out. Haley Bassett will check in. Duffy 0 of 2 from the field in this game. Very uncharacteristic numbers for her. Haley Bassett 2 of 3 for 4 points. And she'll come back out onto the court. Driving, taking a shot. Rusk misses. Rebound goes to Brewster. Wyoming now just 5 of 16 from the field for 31%. Bassett now setting a screen for Olivia West. She'll get to the free throw line, stop, hand it out. Now Eliza West dribbling it with 8 on the shot clock. Bench calling for Haley Bassett to post up. Long shot taken. Eliza West tries another 3, misses again. Rebound tipped by Brewster, back to Wyoming. Wyoming nearly loses it near midcourt. Hasn't knocked out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Utah State, however. Sub coming, Eliza West going to check out. And Utah State's Emmy Harris going to check in. Aggies' leading scorer in this game, Haley Bassett and Rachel Brewster, each with 4 points. And Wyoming's Ariavets and Cotton each with 4. So no player in this entire game with more than 4 points, and it's almost midway through the second quarter. 5:15 to go till halftime. On the right wing, a drive by Weidman. She'll pass it out. Now a drive by Rakovic. Goes up, misses. Rebound by Mason. Cowgirls now 5 of 17 from the field. Utah State 6 of 15. 0 of 3 from 3, though. Here's Bassett. Bassett tries a 3. Only her 3rd attempt of the season, will miss though. And the rebound by Rusk. Not a bad look, she got open for it. Now working the baseline, Rusk, she'll give it out to the free throw line. That's a jumper made by Clara Tapia. And the Cowgirls go up by 3. Can the Aggies answer? 4:20 to go till halftime, and Utah State with just 12 points. Bassett out to the corner for Olivia West. She'll get a screen, take a shot. 17-footer, no good. Rebound by Weideman. 15-12. Cowgirls out front. Tapia up to Rusk. Now over to the right wing for Rakovic. She'll give it to Weidman. 12 on the shot clock. Now over to left wing. Rusk guarded by Deja Mason way outside the arc. She's going to try and drive against Mason. Passes it towards the corner. It's tipped out by Brewster. And there are going to be 4 seconds on the shot clock as the Cowgirls will have the inbound. That brings us to our media timeout with 3:46 to go till halftime. Wyoming up 15-12. They'll have the ball, but only 4 on the shot clock when we come back. You are listening to the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Aggie basketball is brought to you by 92.3 KBLU and the Utah Toyota dealers. The new line of Toyota Corollas, Camrys, and Tacomas are available at Toyota dealership locations throughout the state of Utah or at toyota.com.
This is Claire, USU Class of 2017 from Sociology, Social Work, and Anthropology. You're listening to Aggie Radio on 92.3 FM, KBLU LP Logan, from Utah State University, alternative radio for an alternative audience.
This broadcast is brought to you by Aggie Radio 92.3 KBLU and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Bryant Heating and Cooling offers a variety of services, including heating and air conditioning installation, maintenance, and repair. More information is available at utahbryant.com.
It's a defensive battle here in Laramie, where Utah State and Wyoming, midway through the second quarter, are both still very low scoring. Wyoming 15, Utah State 12. Utah State has turned the ball over 7 times and shot 35%. Started out with actually a pretty good shooting percentage. That's dropped a little bit. That's kind of been the story of Utah State the last few games, really struggling to shoot. Right now, 6 of 17 from the field, but holding Wyoming to 6 of 18. So it's a Cowgirl inbound. They've got 4 on the shot clock. They get it in, a turnaround jumper. Not a bad look by Rakovic as the shot clock nearly expires, but she'll miss. For only having 4 on the shot clock, not the worst inbound play there for the Cowgirls. Utah State now brings it back down. They trail by 3. Would love to close that up before halftime. Still 3.5 minutes to go till we get there. Great pass from Emmy Harris over to the wide open Haley Bassett, who lays it up with ease. Utah State back within 1. Haley Bassett leading all scorers in this game with 6 points now, 3 of 5 from the field. And she's really one of the only players that's able to make anything happen offensively in this game. She's got 6 of Utah State's 14. Gomez now giving it over to the right wing for Rakovic, the Montenegro native. Here's another foul on Utah State. It's Shannon Duffy again. Duffy's second personal, and that's Utah State's 3rd team foul of this quarter. 2:51 to play. Inbound towards the corner for Gomez. And Wyoming now with a new shot clock. On the left wing, Rusk has it. She's guarded tightly by Emmy Harris. She'll give it up top. Gomez now over to the right wing for Ariavets. Wyoming moving the ball well, as they are known to do. Rakovic gives it up top to Rusk. She'll take a step back. 8 on the shot clock. Pass over to the left corner. Here's Rakovic again. She's going to start to drive. Has it stripped out of bounds. Will stay Cowgirl ball, but only 2 on the shot clock. So stripped out. They're going to have it from the baseline. But again, 2 on the shot clock. So very quick play here. The inbound goes to Weideman outside the right wing, and she'll have it blocked by Rachel Brewster as she tries a 3. So the shot clock will expire, and Utah State will get it back. Aggies trailing by 1, can regain the lead on this possession. They've held Wyoming scoreless for 2.5 minutes. In the left corner, it's Brewster giving it up to Eliza West. Here's Duffy, still looking for her first points of the game. She'll give it off to Emmy Harris. Up to Brewster, down to Duffy. Duffy with 6 on the shot clock, gets a little separation. Tough shot from 12 feet out. She'll miss again, now 0 of 3. So Cowgirls regain possession, 1:40 to go in this half. They lead by 1. Rusk over to the left wing. Now driving, turning around. Ariavets backs her way out. She's got 8 on the shot clock. She'll get to the free throw line. Stop, pick up her dribble. Guided tightly by Emmy Harris. She'll pass it out. Now driving. Ariavets goes up, pump fakes. Nice move. Turns around and gets an open shot, but misses. That's a beautiful pump fake. Really got Bassett to bite, but can't finish. And as the shot clock expires, we'll miss the shot. Utah State has it back. Eliza West drives, gives Utah State the lead, 16-15. On a lay-in, Eliza West making things happen offensively. She's now got 4 points for the Aggies. Under a minute to go. Here's Rakovic. She'll get fouled down low. That's Rachel Brewster picking up the foul. Utah State's 4th of this quarter with 56.5 seconds to go. Emmy Harris will check out. Olivia West will check in for the Aggies. So now the shot clock is reset. Cowgirls can go 2 for 1 if they go quick. However, that's not something they're known to do. Ariavets tries to drive. Whistle blows. That's going to be foul on Eliza West, which will send Ariavets to the free throw line. So Ariavets started to drive, got in towards the block. Eliza tried to draw the charge, but they're going to call a defensive foul on the Aggies. That's Utah State's 15th foul. Would have been a shooting foul regardless, so free throws either way. The first free throw is good by Ariavets. That was only the 3rd free throw taken in this game, all 3 by Wyoming. Utah State yet to go to the line. That second shot good. All 4 shots in this game have been Carla Ariavets, and she's gone 4 for 4. So Wyoming back out front, 17-16. Aggies have it with 35 seconds to go till halftime. Eliza West on the right wing. She'll get a screen from Duffy. She'll use it. Frees her up a little bit. She'll pass it out. Bassett tries a jumper just outside the free throw line. Gets it to fall. And the Aggies back out front with a defensive stop. They can go to the locker room up. Shot clock is turned off. 15 on the game clock. Tight defense by Eliza West near midcourt as there's an exchange to Ariavets. 8 on the shot clock. Ariavets gets a screen, uses it from Rakovic, passes over left wing. Rusk tries a 3, tough one, misses. Rebound by Bassett, tips it back though, and a buzzer-beating shot by Wyoming will put them out front. So Bassett went up, tried to grab the rebound, but tips it right back to the free throw line for a jumper by Marta Gomez. And the Cowgirls will go up 19-18 at halftime. So a very, very low scoring first quarter. They're going to take a look at it and make sure it's good, but by all accounts, I think that, don't think anybody's really arguing that it wasn't. All right, so a low scoring affair. However, Utah State shot 43%, much better than they have in many of their games. But when you combine 43% shooting, which isn't a great number, but it's a, it's an acceptable number. 7 turnovers, and then just a very, very, very slow pace of play. That leads to 18 points. And so, they only took 21 shots in the entire first half. And they, defensively, I thought played quite stellar. They didn't look winded, which is tough to do here in Wyoming. This elevation's for real. And so I think that defensively, Utah State feels very, very good about what they've been able to do, holding Wyoming to 30%. Wyoming, a team that shoots 47% on average, holding them to 1 of 4 from the three-point line. I mean, they made 1 3-pointer in the whole first half. They average 8.2 per game and are the 2nd highest percentage of three-point shooting in the nation. They held them just 1 of 4. Forced 5 turnovers. Rebounding battle is knotted up 14 apiece. And, if you're Utah State, you're probably not too disappointed with what you've got right now. But you're going to need a few more points in the second half. Right now, Utah State on pace for 36 points in the game. While it is a one-point game, right now, not many games have ever been won with 36 points. So they're going to need to come out, find something offensively in the second half. Maybe that's Haley Bassett. Maybe you just keep going back to her. She's got 8 of your 18 points. The only Aggie player with more than 4. She's 4 of 6 from the field and has really been, making the shots that she's been getting. While Shannon Duffesey, who leads the team in scoring, who is second in the Mountain West Conference, doesn't have a single point at halftime, 0 of 3. Wyoming playing very, very good defense on her. She does have 4 rebounds and is still making things happen defensively for Utah State, but you're going to need to find a way to get her on the board. So a few stats for Utah State. Only 4 players have scored for the Aggies. That's Haley Bassett with 8, 4 apiece for Rachel Brewster and Eliza West, and 2 for Olivia West. So not a single point from Steph Gorman, Shannon Duffesey, Emmy Harris, or Deja Mason. And that's got to probably change for Utah State. You've got to get a few more players involved and find a way to get them some shots. Though of those players, Emmy Harris, Deja Mason didn't take a shot. Shannon Duffesey took 3, went over 3. Gorman went over 2. Rebounding leaders, Shannon Duffesey had 4. Brewster and Mason with 3 apiece. And Utah State only with 3 team assists in the entire first half. And those are distributed at 1 apiece for 3 different players. For Wyoming, stat leaders in the first half, 6 points for Ariavets, 5 for Gomez, 4 apiece for Tapia and Cotton. So same story on their end. Only 4 players have scored in the entire first half. And they only had 5 assists in the first half, 2 apiece for Ariavets and Rusk and 1 for Cotton. Rebounds, 3 for Rakovich. She leads that category. And not a player on Wyoming's team has taken more than 5 shots, and that's Tapia. So Utah State shot 30%. Shot 43%. Wyoming 30%. And that will take us to halftime. We're going to take a little bit of a break, listen to some music, come back, and a little bit more first half analysis. Take a look at some keys for the second half, and take a look at what's going on around the Mountain West Conference. Thanks for joining us for Utah State Women's Hoops here on Aggie Radio.
This is Brad Bailey, USU Class of 2001. You are listening to Aggie Radio on 92.3 KBLU-LP, Logan, Utah.
Show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You got color in your cheeks? Do you ever get that feel that you can't shift, the type that sticks around like summits in your teeth? Are there some aces up your sleeve? Have you no idea that you're in deep? I dreamt about you nearly every night this week. How many secrets can you keep? 'Cause there's this tune I found that makes me think of you somehow, and I play it on repeat until I fall asleep, spilling drinks on my settee. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go, sorta hoping that you'd stay. Maybe we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you, ever thought of calling when you laugh you, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being lost to fall for surrounding you. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. So have you got the goods? Been wondering if your heart's still open, and if so, I wanna know what time it should. Simmer down and poker up. I'm sorry to interrupt, it's just I'm constantly on the cusp. I've tried been to kiss you. I don't know if you feel the same as I do. We could be together if you wanted to. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go, was sorta hoping that you'd stay. And we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you, ever thought of calling when you better feel, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being lost to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. If this feeling flows both ways,
On the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is Utah State women's basketball. Let's go to courtside.
Well, it was a strange first half between Utah State and Wyoming. Our halftime score, 19-18 in Wyoming's favor. Neither of these teams probably went into the locker room feeling like they had played their best basketball in the first half. Defensively, sure. Defensively, a lot of good stuff from both of these teams. Utah State holds Wyoming to 30%, forces 5 turnovers, and is right there, 14-14 in the rebound column. But, when you put two teams together that both play such a slow pace of basketball, you're going to get some weird things that happen. And that's kind of the case from the first half. Not many highlights to be had from the first half of action. Let's take a look at what's going on around the Mountain West Conference. There are a few other games that have gotten going, though they're very early on, as right now UNLV leads Air Force 14-4 with about 3 minutes to go in the first. And Boise State up 12-7 with about a minute and a half to go in the first. So both of those just getting started. San Diego State and Colorado State starting soon, and San Jose State, New Mexico starting at 8 o'clock. On the men's side, of course, Utah State men playing against Wyoming right now. They lead 18-12 with about 12 minutes to go in the first half. So we'll keep you posted on those. Come back and revisit those scores in our post-game show and see if I can't imagine we'll probably catch any of those that have gone final, but we'll keep you updated for sure. Utah State looking to sweep the season series against Wyoming. These two teams played about a month and a day ago. Utah State won that game. That was also a very low-scoring one, 50-42. Utah State came out front. So this isn't, this was kind of what we expected, a very low-scoring, kind of grinded-out kind of a game, as was that one. Utah State did come out on top, and boy, it would be huge for them to sweep this season series against a very good Wyoming team, that's 14-5, 7-3 in conference play. But it's going to be tough. This is a tough place to play, and especially once you get to the second half, you start to feel it. It sounds kind of dumb, but even from a broadcaster standpoint, just talking, you start to run out of breath being at such high elevation, 7,220 feet. They post it everywhere. It's on the court. It's in the locker rooms. It's in the hallway leading down to the court. To remind you, you're playing at this is the highest elevation Division I basketball court in all of America. And the players are going to start to feel it big time in the second half, which is why they're going to need a little bit of help from bench players. And they're going to need to start to score and come out strong in the beginning of the third quarter, the second half. But the elevation is no joke. I mean it when I say just talking. You start to get winded. You may have noticed maybe I'm a little less wordy this evening. It gets to you. So Wyoming is very well conditioned for it. They love to take teams down to the fourth quarter and then pull out ahead, which is why Utah State, again, needs to come out strong to start out this quarter. Wyoming finished the first half on a buzzer-beating shot. They took a shot, missed it with about 3 seconds left. Utah State went up for the rebound, nearly got it, tipped it right back to Wyoming's Clara Tapia, who hit a buzzer-beating free throw shot and put Cowgirls out front. It is Utah State starting out the second half, though, and right away a three taken and missed by Steph Gorman. Utah State has not made a three-pointer in this game. They're now 0 of 5. Wyoming just 1 of 4, and that's Wyoming's specialty, so a little surprising to see. I have to imagine they take more in the second half, but good perimeter defense so far by Utah State has limited their options. Cowgirls looking to start out with the first points of the second half. It's Bailey Cotton handing it off. She gets it to Ariavets, back over to the corner. Cotton tries a three from the corner, missed. Rebound by Duffasy. Good defense by Haley Bassett near the corner to make that a tough three-point shot. Wyoming now just 1 of 5. So Utah State looking to take the lead back, trailing by 1. Here's a long shot. Haley Bassett just inside the three-point line will miss. And they're going to get Shannon Duffasy going up for the rebound with the foul. That is Shannon Duffasy's third, and that hurts. Duffasy has been limited as of late because of foul trouble. She's going to have to hit the bench now with still 9 minutes to go in the third quarter because she's got 3 fouls. An uncharacteristic game for Shannon Duffasy, who is 0 of 3, has not scored a point in this game. Here's Tapia. Up to Ariavets, now over to left wing. Neither team has been able to get on the board here in the second half yet. Ariavets gives it to Rusk. Stops, picks up her dribble, gives that to left wing. Now driving, trying the rim. Tapia goes up, misses. Coming up short. Aggies good defense all around right now. Wyoming now just 7 of 25 from the field. Here's a turnaround jumper. Haley Bassett has been hitting those all night, but can't get it to fall this time from the free throw line. Rebound by the Cowgirls. Nearly 2 minutes into this second half, and we still sit at 19-18. Wyoming out front. Rusk passes it down. Cotton tries a 15-footer, no good. The rebound, though, would have gone to Utah State, but Eliza West fouls Gomez. Just backed into her, plowed her out of bounds to make it, that's a pretty obvious foul, and one they're going to get you on every time. And it's unnecessary because Utah State probably would have had the rebound there. So it won't go down as a turnover, but essentially that's what it was for Utah State. Under 8 minutes to go here in the third. Cowgirls with a fresh shot clock. It's Cotton giving it over to the right wing for Arievets. She'll find Rusk. Rusk drives against Brewster, puts up with the lefty, no good. Rebound by Mason. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Neither team on the board. Bassett again. Spin move strong to the basket and puts Utah State up. Finally finding the bottom of the net for the first time of the second half. Wyoming tries to answer with a left wing three. Open by Rusk. She'll miss, but the rebound by Cotton. She'll pass it back out. So they missed the shot, but get another opportunity at it. It's Tapia giving it over to the right corner for Arievets. Now a whistle, foul on Utah State. That's going to be Steph Gorman picking up her second personal. It's already Utah State's third team foul with still 7 minutes to go. That's definitely something to watch. So Haley Bass will check out. Marlene Annie-Mbosu will check in. Coach Finkbeiner told Annie-Mbosu as she was about to check in, go out and give us some energy. She hasn't seen the court yet, and she's definitely an energy player. We'll see if that's what they get out of her. Here's a long shot. Knocked down Bailey Cotton just inside the three-point line. Gets it to fall, and that puts Wyoming back out front, 21-20. Brewster on the right wing, passes over to the opposite wing for Eliza West, down to Annie-Mbosu. She's guarded by Gomez. She's going to try and back in, pass it back out to Eliza. She'll set the screen now. Tries to give it back to Annie-Mbosu, nearly loses it, but Brewster finds herself at the right place at the right time, tries to go up and gets fouled by Cotton. 2 free throws coming for Brewster. Annie-Mbosu very nearly lost that out of bounds, but Brewster was just standing on the right block waiting for it. So 2 free throws coming. Brewster's first is good. Rachel Brewster not having a bad game. She's got 5. She's 2 of 3 from the field and 3 rebounds as well. She's got to be getting tired. She's played 20 minutes. That's more than any other Aggie player. Second shot good as well. Utah State back out front, 22-21. So yet another lead change. That is the 11th lead change of the game. Here's a Utah State steal. Liza West comes away with it. Aggie's going to try and push it, slow it down. Good transition defense by the Cowgirls. That was actually Mason with the steal. My apologies, who then handed off to Eliza West. Brewster gets trapped for a moment. We'll give it down to Mason, but Mason travels. Another Utah State turnover. Aggies had a very rough first quarter with turnovers. Had 6 in the first quarter, only 1 in the second. And that was just their first year of the third. So they've cut that down significantly, but now have 8. Wyoming's really cut theirs down significantly as well. I don't know if they had a single one in the second quarter or yet in the third. Bailey Cotton puts Cowgirls out front again. She got it on a dish, lays it up on the left side. 5:38 to go, 23-22, Wyoming. Brewster gets the screen from Annie-Mbosu. That'll free up Annie-Mbosu. A pass, though, just a little bit off target, is going to be tipped by Rakovic, and then she'll force a jump ball, which will go to Wyoming. So the pass got to Annie-Mbosu, but Rakovic was right there because she tipped it. She was right there to be able to reach in, force the jump. So the Cowgirls get the ball back with a 1-point advantage. Here's Cotton. Cotton's been very good here in the second half. She's going to set a screen for Arievets. Tries a free throw line jumper, misses. Rebound by Mason. Nearing the 5-minute mark of this third quarter. It's Eliza West guarded by Ariavets. She'll give it off to Mason. Back to Eliza. 13 on the shot clock. Annie Mbosu has it up top. Over to left wing for Olivia West. She tries to get it down to Brewster. Brewster gets double teamed, puts up with the hook anyway as the shot clock started to wind down. Can't get it to fall and then picks up a foul. I don't know about that. They call a foul on Rachel Brewster as she missed the shot, went for the rebound, and that's pretty minimal contact, but that's costly. That's Utah State's fourth, and that is Rachel Brewster's first. I'm sorry, her second personal. So that brings us to our media timeout. 4:47 to go here in the third. It's Wyoming 23, Utah State 22. You're listening to Utah State Women's Hoops on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Aggie basketball on KBLU is supported by Ford. Ford dealerships are located throughout the state of Utah, from Logan to St. George, and a full section of vehicles is available on Ford.com.
This is Mikey Kettinger, and you're listening to KBLU 92.3 FM, Logan, Utah.
This is Nate Lowerson, class of 2009, and you're listening to Aggie Radio 92.3 KBLU LP, Logan, Utah. Go Aggies.
Something he cannot define. Bowel-shaking earthquakes of doubt and remorse assail him, impale him with monster truck force.
4:47 to go here in the third quarter. Utah State trailing 23-22. These two teams have been too close to separate, just back and forth throughout this whole game. And with about 15 minutes to play in this game, neither team has been able to get out front. It's Wyoming ball as we come out of the timeout. Cowgirls bring it across midcourt. Ariavets out to the right wing. She'll get it back out up top. Annie Bosu comes in, tries to get the steal, but Ariavets able to maintain control. Here's a jumper, Cotton in and out. Rebound though, offensive board goes to Rakovic. That was a good looking shot from Cotton, got open, and she'll usually make those, missed that one. It's about a 17-foot jump shot. Wyoming will get another opportunity at it though. Ariavets, crossover, gets a little bit of space, misses from 18, and Annie Mbosu grabs the rebound. So Utah State looking to retake the lead. It's Brewster on the left wing. Brewster with 6 points for Utah State. She tries a long one, misses. Rebound fought for. It'll eventually go to Rakovic. Annie Mbosu is right in there fighting for the offensive board. Utah State only one offensive board in this entire game. That's pretty uncharacteristic. Utah State is typically a pretty good team at getting second and third opportunities off of offensive boards. Not tonight. Driving, kicking it out to the corner. Wyoming nearly loses it, but it's tipped back to Ariavets. So go back to the corner. Weideman drives the baseline, puts it up as the shot clock expires, but is fouled. She missed the shot, but was fouled, and with literally 1 second or less on the shot clock, Eliza West fouls fouls Weideman, who's going to go to the free throw line. So the first shot is good. Weideman, the freshman from Omaha, Nebraska, she's a 71% free throw shooter. Not many free throws in this game. Wyoming's taken 5, made all 5. Utah State's only taken 2 and made both of them. So Weideman's second, good as well. So remains perfect on the game. Aggies trail by 3 now. Olivia tries to go up under the basket. Gets blocked. Then the ball goes out off of Weideman. Didn't hit rim, and so Utah State has 21 seconds on the shot clock to work with. It's going to be Brewster, the inbounder. Gives it into Eliza. Eliza's going to try and drive, gets fouled again. So another foul on Wyoming. This is their second team foul of this quarter. It's going to give Utah State a baseline inbound, exact same spot as last time, but it will reset the shot clock. So Brewster goes into Olivia West this time. We'll go up top to Eliza. See if the Aggies start to pick up the pace a little bit. Here's a screen set for Brewster. She'll take the shot. 19-footer, no good, but the offensive board by Deja Mason. That's only Utah State's second offensive board of the game, but coming at a big time. Aggies trail by 3, 2:49 to go in the third. Eliza winding this clock down, using a lot of time before she gives it to Olivia on the left wing. She'll drive into the paint, pass out, right elbow jumper missed by Mason, and the rebound goes to Cotton. Not the shot Utah State was looking for there. 2.5 minutes till the end of the quarter. Cotton has it on the left wing. Plenty of space given to her. So give it up top, then over to the right wing. We've got a foul down low. Deja Mason knocks Cotton to the ground. It's actually Brewster that knocked Cotton to the ground. That's costly, though, because that's free throws coming for Wyoming. Utah State's 6th foul of the quarter. So a bonus situation, and Bailey Cotton's going to the stripe for a couple of shots. She's a 72% free throw shooter. That's pretty costly in a game where, you know, Wyoming's only made 9 shots from the field. To give them a couple of free ones from the free throw line. She'll miss the first, however, in front of the rim. That's the first missed free throw by either side in this game. Mass substitution for Utah State. 3 players coming in. Now on the court, it's Bassett, Olivia West, Eliza West, Harris, and Duffusy back out on the court. Second shot is good from Cotton. 4-point game, which feels like a massive lead in this with how tight it's been. 26-22, Cowgirls out front. Utah State has only scored 4 points through 8 minutes of this third quarter. Can they get something going here? It's Olivia West on the right wing, 15 on the shot clock. She'll pass it down low to Duffusy. Duffusy double team, so she tries to give it to Eliza, nearly intercepted. She'll tip it. Then Harris goes up, gets fouled, and a couple of shots coming. Crowd hates that call, and I think that they hate it because she went up and then the whistle didn't blow till after the shot had missed. And, you know, maybe not the greatest call from the officials there. Aggies will gladly take it. They've only been to the free throw line once. So maybe that's a little bit of a makeup call. I don't know. Not a great call, though. Abby Harris makes the first, has one more coming, as the Aggies now trail by 3. So Harris, the Utah State sophomore, can make it a 2-point game, and does. Those are her first 2 points of the game. She's been in for 9 minutes. And it's a 1-possession game yet again. 26-24. Under 2 minutes to go. Here's a Utah State foul, and that's going to send Wyoming back to the free throw line. Harris gets a couple from the stripe for Utah State, and then a silly foul near midcourt puts Taylor Rusk on the free throw line, so they're going to give it right back to him. Rusk, a 60% free throw shooter. And the first one's good. So Rusk, the junior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. She was on the Mountain West All-Freshman team 2 years ago. Then last season became a starter, started all 33. She started all 19 this year. She goes 2 for 2 on that trip. It's back to a 4-point lead for the Cowgirls. You know, that felt like maybe a makeup call on top of a makeup call. These officials haven't called a very good last minute or two. Bassett down to Duffusy. She'll kick it back out to the corner for Harris. Over to left wing. Olivia West now has 8 on the shot clock. And a foul on the screen gives Shannon Duffusy her 4th foul of the game. Shannon Duffusy with 4 fouls. She has 4 fouls, has only taken 3 shots. Very uncharacteristic of the Utah State star forward. So she's going to check out probably for a while now with still a minute 24 to go in the third. Annie Bosu comes back out for big minutes. Eliza West also has 3 fouls, which should be noted. So 4-point lead for the Cowgirls and the ball. Here's another foul down low, and that's Eliza West picking up her 4th foul, sending Wyoming to the free throw line again. And Utah State is killing themselves right now with fouls, because now you've got Eliza West and Shannon Duffy each with 4 fouls, and you've given 5 easy points to Wyoming in a 5-point game. One more coming for Marta Gomez after draining the first. She's 38 of 41 on the season, goes 2 for 2 there. So the 6-point differential, all 6 have come on free throws by Wyoming because Utah State has gotten themselves into foul trouble. Utah State has not scored a point in 6.5 minutes. Eliza West stays in the game despite 4 fouls. She's going to drive at the basket, goes up, gets fouled hard. That one actually was a foul. And that's Taylor Rusk picking it up, so 2 shots coming for Eliza West. Utah State with 9 fouls in this quarter. That's the 4th foul on Wyoming. Utah State badly needs these, but Eliza misses the first. Just a 38% shooter this season. Deja Mason checks in. Haley Bassett checks out. Bassett really the only player giving Utah State any offense. She'll check out. Missed second shot, but the offensive board by Mason. Utah State goes 0 of 2 on that trip, but it's going to get another look at it. Can they capitalize? Aggies have not scored in 7 minutes now. Not a single point in 7 minutes. Mason down low, goes up, gets it to fall, breaks the skid, and brings Utah State back within 4. That's only Utah State's 8th point of this quarter. There's about 3 seconds between shot and game clock for the Cowgirls, who will probably let this thing wind down as they do on every possession. Arivet's on the right wing. Here's another foul, and 2 more free throws coming for Wyoming. Aggies are absolutely killing themselves right now with fouls. That is the 10th foul of this quarter. Marlene Aniabosu sends to the line Marta Gomez for a couple of shots. First shot is good. 1 more coming for Gomez. So Marlene's going to check out. Haley Bassett's going to check in. Aniabosu, only 1 foul, but that is costly, man. Utah State, 10 fouls in this quarter. 31-26, they now trail. Gomez going for another. Her second shot is good. 17.5 seconds. Utah State needs some points here. 15 seconds till the end of the 3rd quarter. Aggies trail by 6 points at a premium. Bassett hands it off to Emmy Harris. Liza down to Bassett. Bassett a turnaround jumper. Tough one, no good. And the rebound by Wyoming. And thank goodness that quarter is over. Utah State goes into the 4th trailing 32-26 after fouling the Cowgirls 10 times, giving up 10 free throws in the 3rd. We're going to take a timeout. Come back with the 4th in a moment here on Aggie Radio.
Hey, this is Jerry Joseph. You're listening to 92.3 FM, KBLU LP, Logan, Utah. Alternative radio for an alternative audience. Love you, Logan.
I remember you laid out on the table with nothing but the beating of your heart.
Aggie Basketball is brought to you by 92.3 KBLU and the Utah Toyota dealers. The new line of Toyota Corollas, Camrys, and Tacomas are available at Toyota dealership locations throughout the state of Utah or at toyota.com.
This is Claire, USU Class of 2017 from Sociology, Social Work, and Anthropology. You're listening to Aggie Radio on 92.3 FM, KBLU LP Logan, from Utah State University, alternative radio for an alternative audience.
This broadcast is brought to you by Aggie Radio 92.3 KBLU and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Bryant Heating and Cooling offers a variety of services, including heating and air conditioning installation, maintenance, and repair. More information is available at utahbryant.com.
Just about to enter the fourth quarter, Utah State trailing 32-26. The third quarter maybe wasn't the worst quarter of basketball I've seen Utah State play this season, but it was certainly the ugliest. Aggies gave 9 points from the free throw stripe in a very, very tightly contested game with not many points. They fouled the Cowgirls 10 times, and now Eliza West and Shannon Duffy both with 4 fouls and still a quarter to go. So Aggies have their backs up against the wall in that regard. Still a 6-point game, though, and if the Aggies can get a few points early on, right back in it. Only 8 points in the last 2 quarters each. Deja Mason spins around, goes up, got a really nice look, but can't get it to fall. And the Aggies go scoreless on their first trip down the court in this quarter. Utah State went just 2 of 12 from the field in the third quarter. Cowgirls. Baseline jumper from Rakovic missed, but the offensive board by Gomez. And Wyoming starting to look like the home team a little bit as the Aggies just look gassed. The Cowgirls look like they got plenty of gas left in the tank. Here's a long shot. Tapia, that's a little bit of a dagger. 35-26, largest lead of the game now for the Cowgirls. And Utah State in desperate need of some answers. Utah State has only scored 8 points in each of the last 2 quarters, and now they trail by 9. Here's Eliza on the right wing. She'll give it to Mason. Mason's going to try and drive. Goes up, left side. This one no good again. 2 missed layups in a row for Deja Mason. Rebound by Rakovic. Aggies trailing by 9. Aggies just look gassed right now, and the elevation will do that to you. Looks like they're about to make a few subs. Rakovic gives it over to the right wing, gets it to Tapia. Now down on the block, Gomez takes it back out. 6 on the shot clock for Wyoming. She's going to try and drive, works the baseline, gets it blocked. They're going to call a foul. I don't know about that one. That's going to be 2 free throws coming for the Cowgirls. So they can make this a double-digit game. It's Martha Gomez going to the line, and she does not miss there often. 39 of 42 on the season, and she makes the first. So the Spain native will have one more. It's now a 10-point game, 36-26. Aggies yet to score here in the fourth. So a few subs for Utah State on the court. It's Gorman, Brewster, Duffy Bassett, and Olivia West. 2 of 2 on that trip for Gomez. Utah State now down by 11. Duffy up top. She'll hand it off to Gorman. Utah State probably needing to go a little quicker here, but there's an offensive foul. So another turnover by Utah State. Turnover number 11. Olivia West drives, pushes off, and will give it right back to the Cowgirls, trailing 37-26. Utah State, to this point, still only 2 made field goals this entire second half, and they have 26 points. Rakovic on the left wing will pass it out to Gomez. 10 on the shot clock. Left wing pump fake by Rusk. She'll then drive, give it down low. And the backdoor lay-in is good by Rakovic. Cowgirls taking control now, 13-point game, which seems, somewhat manageable in a regular game, but that's half of Utah State's points. They only have 26 points. Another foul down low, Haley Bassett. Okay, that's actually, my apologies, that's actually Marta Gomez. They both wear number 12, and they were battling down on the post. I only saw the signal for the number, but it is a defensive foul. My apologies, Gomez with the foul. And then a near turnover. Duffy gives it down to Bassett. She loses it. A jumper missed by Brewster. And the Cowgirls get it back. Utah State 2 of 14 in the second half. 6:45 to go. Gomez over to the left wing, finding Weidman. Back up to Rakovic. 8 on the shot clock now for Wyoming. 7-6. Driving, laying it up on the left side, missing Rusk. Rebound by Duffy. Duffy still not a single point in this game. Here's a left wing three. Olivia West trying to answer, no good. Rebound by Brewster, and then a foul on Wyoming. So an offensive board by Rachel Brewster. Those have been few and far between in this game for Utah State. Only their 5th offensive board of the game. Utah State being out rebounded 28-24. The foul goes against Tapia. It's her first. Wyoming's 2nd of this quarter. So Brewster inbounds from the baseline into Gorman. Gorman over to the right wing, finds Brewster again. Utah State shooting 31%, Wyoming 30%. Here's a jumper. Good from Rachel Brewster, giving Utah State a little bit of a spark. That's their first points of this 4th quarter, 4 minutes into it. Makes it an 11-point game. 39-28, 5:53 to go. A layup by Wyoming. And all of a sudden, the Cowgirls getting things going on offense. As that's Marta Gomez finding her 13th point of the game. She leads all scorers by a ways in this one. Another near turnover by Utah State. Gorman's pass was deflected. Mason found herself in the right place at the right time. Duffy tries a three-pointer, trying to find her first points of the game. Misses, but an offensive board by Olivia West goes long. Here's Olivia on the left wing. She'll give it up to Brewster. Brewster down to Duffy. She's backing in the post. Goes up, misses the lane, grabs her own board, goes up again, misses again. Fights for the rebound and is called for a foul. And Shannon Duffy's going to the bench. Done for the game with her 5th foul. She finishes this game 0 of 6 from the field. Does pick up 7 rebounds, but a scoreless game for the Mountain West's 2nd leading scorer. And she's done. Averages 16.3 points per game. And goes 0 for 6 in this game. Utah State trailing 41-28. Wyoming in control. Here's Tapia giving it over to Weidman. Up to Ariavets. I don't know if Wyoming's taken a shot within the first 15 seconds of a shot clock this entire game. Here's a 3 knocked down by Rakovic. And all of a sudden, it's a blowout. Just like that. The Cowgirls up by 18. 16. 44-28. And another foul. This time, Annie Mbosu backing into the post, picking up the offensive foul. Utah State's 4th. And that brings us to a timeout. Media timeout, 4:29 to go in this game. 44-28 Wyoming.
All right, Sundays at 11 p.m., we've got On the Quad. It is a comedy show from Aggie Radio Theater. That's every Sunday at 11 p.m. If you're looking to make your intestines hurt from so much laughter, tune in.
92.3 FM, KBLU-LP, Logan, Utah.
This program is brought to you in part by Intermountain Logan Regional Hospital Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, featuring individually focused rehabilitation programs, sports performance training for all ages, and orthopedic surgery options. Logan Regional's orthopedic and sports medicine specialists are the official medical providers for Utah State University Athletics, featuring team physicians, team orthopedists, and physical therapists. Learn more at loganregional.org.
What's up, Aggies? Tune in to All Killer, No Filler, right here on Aggie Radio from Thursdays, 3 to 4, and I'll be your host, Jared Worth.
Welcome back at the Arena-Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming, where Utah State trails 44-28. No, it's not the first half. No, it's not the third quarter. 4.5 minutes to go till this thing wraps up, and that tells you everything you need to know about this game. Utah State was called for a technical foul at the end of that quarter. They've been unhappy, right before the timeout, I should say. They've been unhappy with some of the calls. They let the officials know, and the team is assessed a technical foul, which sends Marta Gomez to the line. She goes 2 for 2, a 94% free throw shooter on the season. And this thing has turned into a blowout. Coach Fink still voicing his displeasure with the officiating. As you know, that has played an enormous part in this game, but I don't know if it's been all that bad. So Wyoming with it. Here's a lay-in, missed. Annie and Bosu, good defense, but the rebound by Rakovic, who puts it back up. 20-point game. I should remind you, at halftime it was a 1-point game. The third quarter was close too. Wyoming has outscored Utah State 16-2 in the fourth. Here's Gorman, long jumper, in and out, rebound by Rakovic. And then a hard foul by Annie and Bosu. She might be getting a technical for that. She knocks Rakovic to the ground. That's very clearly a very frustrated Utah State team. She got her in the head. I think she's going to be done. They're going to look at that on the monitor. That's probably going to go down as a flagrant foul. So Rakovic came down with the rebound. Annie Bosu came in hard, hits her right in the head with an elbow, and we'll see what the officials say. They're going to go look at the monitor. I think she is done, and Utah State already getting Emma Dudley ready to check in for her first action of the game. This thing has turned ugly, and turned ugly quick. A 9-0 run for Wyoming. They've outscored the Aggies 16-2 in this quarter, while Utah State in this half 3 of 20 from the field. So we'll see what the officials decide. Taking a look at Utah State's schedule throughout this season. They haven't had a game where they've come even close to this few points. Sitting at 28 now, they'll probably finish, with a little bit more than that, but their lowest scoring game this season was 46 against USC. I'm trying to see, I don't see one lower than that. They scored 46 against USC, 48 against Long Beach State, and against Air Force. And they might not even come anywhere near that in this game. So the officials call in both coaches to the scorer's table, probably just going to tell them, look, this thing is getting a little bit out of hand. I think they're going to assess the flagrant on Annie and Bosu. And I believe they have. Can't hear what the officials are saying, but Coach Finkbeiner looks a little bit displeased. He can't be angry about that foul because that seemed pretty obvious. He's having some words with Coach Legursky. Getting a little bit heated. Of course, the crowd doesn't love it. Crowd letting them hear it. Officials separate them. 48-28, 2 free throws coming for Marta Gomez. Again, a 94% free throw shooter. She's back on the line yet again. She just took a couple of technical free throws. Makes the first of this on flagrant free throw. She's now 9 of 9 from the stripe. She's got 16 points and 3 rebounds. Second one is good as well. So it's a 22-point ball game. So they call that an unsportsmanlike foul. I don't know if that's the same thing as a flagrant or if it's just if they just call it a technical. Either way, it's 2 free throws and the ball for Wyoming. Can't imagine we see Annie and Bosu back out on the court again in this game. Aggies have made a couple of subs. Lindsey Jensen-Baker making her 3rd appearance of the season. Missed much of the season with injury and is now eligible again. Hasn't played many minutes since being eligible, but she's back out for the third time this year on the court. Emma Dudley's out there. Steph Gorman, Olivia West, and Haley Bassett. 3.5 minutes to go. 22-point ball game. Ariavets going to try and drive, knocks down Olivia West. They call that defensive foul. Olivia West had her feet moving. So Utah State with another foul. This is their 18th foul of the second half. 18 fouls in the second half. Still 3.5 minutes to go. Ariavets going to the free throw line. 68% free throw shooter. She's got 6 points. Misses the first there. Had gone 4 of 4 from the stripe, but misses on the front end of this one. One more to come. Ariavets does have 6 assists, a couple of rebounds. Makes the second there. Makes it 51-28. Nearing the 3-minute mark. Here's Olivia West. Gives it over to Gorman. Gorman down to Emma Dudley. She's backing in. The freshman goes up with the fake. Nice hook shot there. Emma Dudley. A really nice look there. Finds her 12th point of the season on a beautiful hook shot. Checks in, and within 30 seconds of making her appearance in this game, gets on the board. Quick, nearly answer by Ariavets, who puts it off the backboard, misses on the lay-in. Wyoming not taking out any starters, sticking it to Utah State right now. Here's a foul on Wyoming. It's going to send Olivia West to the free throw line. How about this for a free throw discrepancy? 22 free throws taken by Wyoming, 6 by Utah State. So Olivia West goes to the free throw line for Utah State's 7th and 8th free throws of the game, misses the first. Par for the course for Utah State. One more coming. Olivia West 2 points in this game, 2 rebounds. Makes the second one there. Bringing it back to a 20-point game. 2.5 minutes to go. Wyoming with the full, nearly the full starting lineup still in the game, despite being a 20-point game with 2.5 minutes to go. Ariavets gets a screen, gets the free throw line, passes it out, right wing. Here's a 3 taken, missed by Weidman. Rebound by Dudley. So Dudley averaging 5.5 minutes per game, getting some time here at the end of this one. Here's a foul on Wyoming. Foul on Ariavets. Gets an arm of Gorman. 2:02 to go. Sub coming for Ariavets. She's going to check out. Rusk will check in as Ariavets just picked up her 4th. Not that it's going to make much of a difference in this one. Gorman down to Bassett. Bassett goes up strong. Right hook is good. Nice offensive move there from Haley Bassett. Makes it 51-33. Utah State getting a little bit of offense here at this one, but that's not saying a ton. Now driving, getting the lay-in, Quinn Weidman. Makes it a 20-point game once again. Weidman now with 4. Minute 26 to go. There's Jensen Baker. Over to left wing, finds Gorman. Gorman scanning her options. She'll give it to Dudley. Dudley at the free throw line. Gets double teamed to reach in. Breaks out of it, turns around. Free throw line jumper, no good. Offensive board by Bassett. Turnaround jumper there is good. Haley Bassett now with 14. She's 7 of 12 from the field. Not a bad game from her. 4 rebounds as well. One of the lone bright spots for Utah State in this one. So 53-35, the Aggies trail. Under 45 seconds to go. Here's a long one taken. Missed by Weidman. Offensive board, though. Cotton will grab it. She'll back out. Still about 6 seconds between shot and game clock. So while Wyoming can run this thing nearly down to the wire, they will either have to take a shot or have a turnover. Clock winds down. 15 now. It's Cotton way out up top. So give it over to Gomez. Wyoming going to finish this thing out with almost all starters. That runs out the shot clock. 7.2 on the game clock for Utah State. As this thing is going to run down, inbound to Olivia West while they go for a shot. She gets a screen, drives, takes a shot. I don't love that, as Utah State was just given a little bit of mercy by Wyoming. They'll miss at the buzzer, and that's how this thing goes down, 53-35. One of the uglier basketball games I've ever witnessed. And Utah State going to leave Laramie quite disappointed. What was a close game through 2.5, nearly 3 quarters, implodes at the end. We've now got Utah State head coach Jerry Finkbeiner over to join us. Coach, you're right there through 2.5 quarters of this game. It's really close, really back and forth, and then things just kind of explode at the end.
Yeah, it was a really interesting game. I'll be really curious to watch the replay, because there's about a 4 or 5 minute spurt where they didn't even shoot one field goal. It's all free throws.
Sure.
And that's when it changed. We played good defense.
Absolutely.
We got called for some fouls. So, it was just an interesting game. So, there was kind of a blow up on the Wyoming side, and kind of turned the game around emotionally. The crowd got into it, and that's what home crowds do. I mean, I wish we had this home crowd here. I think the home crowd had a lot to do with a nice game.
Well, and when they take 10 free throws in the third quarter, they take 22 free throws to your 8 in that game. What does it do for the momentum of the game?
Yeah, it's really, as a good shooting team they are, when they have free open free throws, they're going to hit a great percentage of them. So it's like a dagger. It's really hard to stay in the game when they're shooting a lot of free throws like that. And we did foul. But
Sure.
It was, just kind of an interesting game. I'm really curious to watch the swing that happened in the middle of the third quarter, because all of a sudden it's not that we died, but we couldn't score and we fouled a lot. So we'll see kind of the denominators of what took place there. But girls wanted to win tonight. We wanted to win as a staff. And the game is a lot closer than the score indicates. It's just kind of a funny outcome the last 12, 13 minutes.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, Jaden, thanks.
That is Utah State head coach Jerry Finkbeiner. And, an interesting point there. You look at the box score. Wyoming made 20 free throws. They took 22. They made 20 of them. That's a ridiculous rate, 91%. So a lot of credit, obviously for making those free throws when they get them. But you take 20 free throws out of the mix, and of course you can't just do that. But Wyoming, Utah State defensively from the field held Wyoming to 15 made field goals for 33 points. So I'm sure that the message for Coach Finkbeiner is, look, you played your hearts out defensively, played very good defense outside of the fouls. You gotta, obviously, he felt and very publicly expressed that he felt that some of those fouls were maybe a little bit too tightly called. But at the same time, you've got to be able to react to that as a team and realize, look, they're calling everything right now. Maybe we need to back off. You can't send a team to the free throw line 22 times in a game, especially a very low-scoring, slow-paced team like this. And he's exactly right. That's where things imploded. For Utah State statistical leaders, as we're going to wrap this thing up pretty quick, Utah State statistical leaders, Haley Bassett, 14 points. Other scores for the Aggies, 8 points from Rachel Brewster, 4 for Eliza West, 3 for Olivia West, 2 apiece for Emmy Harris, Deja Mason, and Emma Dudley. Not a single point from Utah State's leading scorer, Shannon Duffy. And the third scoreless game of the past 4 for Steph Gorman. So 2 pretty regular scoring threats for the Utah State Aggies, not able to get on the board. Now, Duffy did have 7 rebounds, put in a lot of defensive work, but fouled out after only 20 minutes of playing. Was in foul trouble regularly throughout the whole game and was very limited because of that. 7 rebounds as well for Deja Mason, so those 2 both led in that category. Assists, 3 team assists in the entire game for Utah State. Certainly a season low. Not a single Aggie player with more than 1 assist in this game. And you look at the personal fouls. Shannon Duffy had 5. Eliza West had 4. Olivia West had 4, and so they were just, I feel like the Aggies got really limited, and I've never seen a game collapse so badly because of free throws like this one did. For Wyoming, a lot of credit to Marta Gomez, 17 points, went 10 of 10 from the free throw line. 7 points from the field, but 10 from the free throw line. 3 rebounds as well. Other scores for the Cowgirls, Cotton with 9, Tapia with 7, Ariavets with 7, Rakovic with 7, 4 for Weidman, and 2 for Rusk. 6 assists for Ariavets and 10 rebounds for Rakovic. So big 7-point, 10 rebound performance for her. All right, we're going to close things out from here at the Arena-Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming. Utah State falls to 10-13 on the season, 5-7 in Mountain West play. The Aggies back at it this Saturday as they host Air Force, 2 o'clock p.m. here on Aggie Radio. Make sure to join us for that as the Aggies look to get back on track. Signing out, though, from Arena-Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming, where the Utah State Aggies fall 53-35.
On the Aggie Sports Network, this has been Utah State Women's Basketball. The proceeding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Aggie Sports Network.